Hello, and welcome to Rainbows and Razor Blades Productions, where reigns in all of our content. Skag threw me off before we even got started. He's good at that. Anyway, welcome. Tonight, we have Madness Takes Artena, a 5e homebrew that is slowly getting more and more sinister, and I love it. Welcome to tonight's show. I am your DM for the night, Kristen, and let's meet our players. Bag just because you're gonna annoy me like that. You go first.
Dang it. Hello, everybody. I'm Skagwater RPG, and you can find me on all the wonderful Twitter, Instagram, all those things under that. And yeah, I am ready to play Lustin.
Steve.
Hi, my name's Steve. I go by Hermes4939 in a lot of places on the internet. You can find me on Twitter at W9Steve. I'm playing Errol, the Vidalcan Grave Cleric, and you can also find me every other Thursday. No, Thursday, yes, playing with Mary on our Vason game by Free League Publishing that has been a lot of fun. That's about it. Thank you.
And Mary.
Hi, I'm back finally. I'm Mary Kate Mead. You can find me on socials at Nerd on Wheels 15, where I chat about disability, TTRPGs, and everything in between. You can also catch me on 2000 Tales, Chaotic Wonderful, throughout the week. It's not this Thursday, but next Thursday we're having episode 3 of Azen. It's a lot of fun. Check it out. I am playing Amariel, the Oath of the Watchers Paladin. I'm so excited. I love paladins.
Welcome back. And Izzy.
Hi, I'm Izzy. You can find me on the Twitter and the Instagram, Izzy Talavera, and I'll be playing Paintbrush, the Sun Soul. I was gonna say cleric, Sun Soul monk. And yeah.
And then we are missing Danny tonight. He is off on a side quest, being sick and sleeping. So we hope he feels better soon too, just like we hoped Mary. And she still got just a little bit of it, so it plays in with Amarielle being sick for the last 2 weeks. So
Yep.
And so, let us get into the game. As a reminder, though, before we go, you can affect the game on Coffee by giving advantages or disadvantages or other things to our players.
Give me a cursed item. Do it now.
You might already have one. Hush.
I
Do you
want
want to see
another
how many you
one.
can collect by the end of the?
I think we have to transfer that
Exactly what I wanna do.
pearl of decay over too, which is
Yeah.
another thing that something bad will happen.
Oh yeah, because you put the pearl in the seashell. That's right.
Yeah.
So yes, I'll get that swapped over. And we also have our aspects of chaos, our channel points. We've got quite a few things that you can do. Just make sure that you check that it's a 5e game and it's for Artena. Because with 4 games, we have a lot of things going on. And so, previously on this channel, our group of adventurers had left Belmoral, being chased out of town by the guards of Leroy, the Neodar money man, I don't know, that had hired them to break into General Nolstrom's office. And then when he found out through whispers that that you all hadn't given him all of the information that you had gathered, sent his own guards out after you. With the help of the Ghost Knives, the rogue group in Artena, you were able to get just enough word of it to get out of town before getting caught. On the road to the Shining Vale, where Lustin's old boss, Lewis Dragonrock, has a store, uh, they ran into a group of travelers that were dancing around a fire, their carts seemingly forgotten. And as they joined, it slowly became apparent that they were not dancing of their own accord, and a siren was revealed. They fought the siren, who attempted to run, but with a well placed command, she did not get away. Uh, and Lustin is now the owner of the necklace of the siren, which may or may not be cursed. We'll see.
I'm
Upon
not reading it
arrival,
yet.
upon arrival in the Shining Vale, which they finished their travels with the dancing people that they had run into, so that those people felt a little safer in their travels. They made it safely to the Shining Vale, and they checked in with Lewis Dragonrock, who is quite the character. Got them set up in a room that has basically a five-way bunk bed setup, where you all get your own beds. Uh, and Trenton found the glass tchotchkes interesting and purchased himself a lion glass sculpture that he then asked to have shipped back to his dormitory because that way it's less likely to be broken in a fight. Paintbrush was asked to do a mural on the side of Lewis's store. And before we get into the night, Paintbrush does know what he's going to paint. So why don't you tell the rest of the party what your plans are, Paintbrush?
Yeah, so this is called the Dragon Rock Shop, right? So I did a dragon. He's made out of stone, and since he's like a seller of stuffs, he's gonna have like gem eyes and like gems up his spine, so different color gems. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. And so, as you're all getting ready to go to bed, and Paintbrush gives you the description of what he's going to paint, and uh, Leston, any thoughts on how that's going to look and if it's suitable for this shop?
I am going to let him have full reign on this because, much as I love this shop, I kind of want to see what uh what Paintbrush can do.
Yes.
And so, getting settled, Amariel, you have been resting in the one bed that doesn't have a bunk above it. Uh, the other beds having been claimed, slowly starting to feel better. It's almost like you've been down with a cold or allergies. You're not really sure, but it was just enough to mess with your head and make it so that it was hard to function. As the rest of you come to sleep, get settled. Is anybody standing any watches, just going straight to sleep?
Um, I think Errol would stay up for a little while, but we're essentially kind of in a pretty safe location. So, does the door lock where we're staying, or is
Yeah,
it
the
just
door
up?
locks on the room you're in. There is another room that Lewis sleeps in, and then the front door is locked as well.
Yeah, I think Errol would probably stay up for a little while just because it's somewhat of a new place. But that would probably be it. And then prior to going to bed, so over that first hour, um, he would sit up and then actually end up, which is one of his new things, is casting invisibility because it lasts for an hour. So he would just kind of sit there invisibly to see kind of what went down. And so you kind of see him kind of grab his holy symbol, and then there's actually some darkness comes out of it. And then that darkness moves, and then he just slowly and then just goes invisible.
Does anybody remark on this, or it's just Errol?
I'm
Oh,
gonna
that's
look
right.
over at Errol and be like, I had a question for you, but never mind. I'll wait till the morning.
He's like, no, I can still hear you. It's okay.
This is weird. I'm talking to air. Errol.
Hold on. Let me. I'll turn it off. Hold on. And then, but before he does that, he's going to cast Disguise Self, which is one of his other fun things. And so he's going to look like Skag, or look like Lustin when he comes
I
out.
can do that too.
Invisibility. And then just boom.
I can do that too, and I'm gonna use disguise self and look like Errol.
And it's what's your question?
Okay, I need to find.
Paintbrush, I
Very.
would say you've been outside for a minute, and then you come back inside after looking at the wall a little bit longer, after describing it. You're like, "Wait, I need to check on something." And you come back in, and you see Errol and Lustin talking, but the voices don't
I
match the
was gonna say the
images.
voices are different. Hey, Paintbrush, how'd the mural go?
Uh, I
Is it looking okay?
I needed a little more. Why are your voices different?
Then I'll turn it off. He said, 'cause we're being dumb before we go to bed.
Because this
Now
is
there's
more
2
entertaining
Errols.
this way.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry. I was gonna stay up for an hour to make sure you got back, and then to make sure nothing funky happened before I went to bed. So you're okay.
oh yeah. Thank you.
Alright, what did you actually want to ask?
I wanted to ask him originally if he has any expensive ink, maybe.
I don't think so. Let me check.
I wanted to try something. If you
Okay.
don't have it, it's okay.
No, I don't have anything, but if we have that scroll of command that we can also sell to get some money for that ink too. So yeah, we can go find some. We need to find that. You need a black pearl too, don't you?
Yes, I need the black pearl as well.
Okay,
That
we have
one
to.
might be a little harder to find than ink.
Oh, I don't. We'll have to see. We'll have to poke around. You never know what we
And
can
you still
find.
have that, nebulous gray pearl that might suit your needs that you haven't tested yet.
Is that
Actually,
the?
while I'm thinking about that, let me swap that over.
And then yeah, because I had given your character that already. Because I was like, I don't know if this will work or not, but we'll see.
You
And we
wait
have
for
those
it.
feathers from the siren, so we can also sell those for anything
We
that
got
you
a
might
lot of
need.
stuff that we can sell. Oh wait, I gotta equip this and attune to it now.
Yeah, you've been in the Shining Veil long enough that you would have attuned to the necklace by now. And the other days on the
Yup.
road.
Okay, I'm gonna okay. Not reading the bottom part because the bottom part is the worst part of it.
Very important to read.
Okay.
I
I'm not
spoilered.
trying to read the
I
curse though.
spoilered the
The
Oh, you
necklace
did?
we
Okay,
know. The
cool.
necklace we know that there's something wrong with it. We do know that.
Okay, the Pearl of Decay is now in your inventory as well, Lustin.
Oh goody, I have a pearl of decay as well. Oh geez, this is so much fun. What is it? Because I need to probably attune to this thing as
Anyway,
well.
But yeah, so I'll stay up until Paintbrush is back at least.
as you're asking about expensive ink, however, Trenton kind of rouses just a little. He's like, I do need expensive ink to copy spells. Okay, thanks, bye. And lays back down.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't have any of the good. He just has regular ink.
What does this thing do?
But yes, okay. And Maria's
I'm
in the
gonna
chat,
collect
and I'm
all
gonna
of them,
shout her
all
out
of these
really
items.
quick because
Hi,
she did
Maria.
the lovely character art for all of our characters on stream, and it's awesome. So go check her out, commission her, do the things.
Do all of the
So
things.
yes, everybody starts to settle down. With your passive perception, uh, Harold, there's nothing that seems odd or off in the hour that you're sitting up and waiting. Uh, you do hear regular night sounds. There is a window in the room that's just slightly cracked for airflow because there's 5 people in a little room, and even though there's still some snow outside in this location, uh, airflow is always good.
Mhm.
So you can hear crickets, and you can hear an owl off in the distance, and uh, the snuffling of what may be a stray dog, you think. Uh, Otherwise, nothing seems off.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just wait
I'm
till
gonna,
Paintbrush comes back, and then I'll head to bed.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
he'd already
grab
come
my
back when you
Drake.
guys were each other.
Oh, okay. All right. Then yeah, then Errol will head to bed.
I need to grab my little tiny gel dragon and pet him before I go to bed.
Point of order, Paintbrush, are you going to start painting this mural tonight since you're a night painter, or are you
Yeah.
gonna get your full night's rest?
No, I have inspiration. It starts now.
All right. So yeah, Paintbrush has come back in, and then as you finally lay down, Errol, he puts on his dark suit, and because this is just how Paintbrush works, he goes out in the night and starts on the mural. So go ahead and give me uh I'll say 2 performance checks for this mural. And if you're going to finish the whole thing tonight or uh uh do some the next night.
uh no, it needs to be done. All
Okay.
tonight. I rolled performance, you said?
Yep. 2
Uh
rolls.
17 and 16.
Okay, yeah, you are able to get it done in the night. A couple of the finer details take you a little bit longer that you use your small regular paintbrush for. But with the never-ending paint where you just have to think of a color and it comes out of your paintbrush staff, it's fairly easy to get done, and it's very obviously a dragon. Some of the finer details stand out a little bit more. Um, it's not your best work, but it's also not your worst.
Whew.
So you spend. It takes you about 5 or 6 hours, and as you come into the room, Lustin seems not sweaty, but wet. You almost smell the brine of the sea as he's sleeping.
Hmm.
Lustin, you find yourself walking along the coast, barefoot, the sand soft and giving beneath your feet and between your toes. You look on the horizon and see a lone ship bobbing on the waves, and you start a little bit as you realize that no storm obscures your view and you can see for miles. This disconnect from reality pulls you from your body, or pulls you from the body, and as your view pulls back and up, you see a figure standing on the beach. Tall and statuesque, blue skin glinting in the setting sun, sparkling as much as the water stretching out before him. Green hair swaying in the wind, more like water than windblown. Dressed in nothing but tattered blue pants, and yet still maintaining the look of someone of wealth and power. He turns to you and smiles, and you see teeth sharp and crammed into his mouth like those of a piranha. He calls, as he calls to the sea and the wind and drives the ship on the horizon further away before a whoomph of power is expended, and the familiar wall of water, the constant maelstrom that surrounds Artena, comes to be. You see the heads of creatures bob on the water as it climbs, the legendary Casso dragons of Artena playing on the storm like it's home. Once more, the figure turns to you, and in a slightly familiar voice says, "And thus from chaos the storm was born, to protect the world from whence darkness torn. The abyss was opened and Artena shorn, defeat the darkness to quell the storm." And then he dissipates into mist as you watch. You continue to float, untethered, before a force pulls you back and slams you into your body. "Watch and see what the past has wrought," echoes in the multiple feminine voices in your head as you find yourself standing in a rainstorm outside of a window of your childhood home. You step forward, and you see your sister at her vanity. And staring back from the mirror is a gaunt, sickly version of herself, with a grotesque yet gleeful grin on her face, before a hand reaches through the mirror and pulls her through, the brush she'd been using clattering onto the floor. Those who can stop what threatens to overtake Artena leave those they loved at fate's whim, and what comes next is because of them. The same feminine voices in your head comment before you come to consciousness in your bed at Dragon Rocks, wet and dripping, yet not from sweat. You smell a salty brine on it, as if dunked in an ocean, the dreams lingering in your mind.
That was a lot.
I'll send it to you in Discord.
Thank you. I'm trying to like type it out, and I'm like, no, there's no way.
I've written it out beforehand, so there you go.
Cool. Alrighty. Yeah. Well, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot.
And as you wake up and notice that you're dripping and smell of brine, you see Paintbrush skulking back inside, who also is noticing your state at this, while all the others appear to still be asleep.
Uh, uh, I don't know.
I'm just kind of cocking my head. I'm going to. Are you cold? I'm going to take my little cloak off and like try to tuck him in.
As it billows over top of him.
Whoosh.
Not exactly cold,
This is the
no,
worst
but
blanket.
keep on having to grab it and tuck it back in.
If they're making noise, can I see if I would have woken up?
Roll me a d20.
Ooh, 15.
Yeah, it's just enough noise that you notice and wake to also
Yeah.
see Lustin dripping, and you also smell the sea, which you all in your travels would have seen the sea,
Mm-hmm.
and you know the scent of it, but the storm that rages, it's about 1,500 feet off of the shoreline, and so that's all the room that mostly is there, except for
Yeah.
those northern isles. It kind of goes on the tips of those, so there's that little bit of seawater pocket right there where pirates actually have small ships and
Yeah.
hang out.
I'd look and said, did you go anywhere? Like, did your physical body leave here? Okay.
No. I don't
I'm
think
casting
so.
Detect Magic. I'm not even ritually casting. I'm actually burning a spell slot for it. But something obviously really funky just happened because I went to sleep and woke up and he's all wet and looking
I mean,
confused.
the necklace he's wearing lights up. Uh, there's a couple other items in the room that are on your friend's person.
Okay. But nothing else pops up.
Nope.
And so, did you go in the shell when you went to sleep or did you just go sleep?
I just went to sleep. I know it's just there was, I think it was a dream. I think.
Roll a general wisdom check for me.
Okay. Yeah, 4.
Yeah, the
Oh.
voices in the dream all still sound familiar, but you're really not sure why yet.
Do you want to talk about and tell us what happened, or you just want to go back to sleep?
I mean, I can talk, I think.
And so, if he's able to rehash, obviously, what that.
Yes.
Okay. Um, do you know what it means, or did you recognize anyone other than obviously your sister and things like that? You ever seen anything like that before?
You ever have like those moments, what are they called? Deja vu, where you think you recognize something or somebody,
Yeah.
but you don't at
Yeah.
the same time?
I think so. All right.
There was a lot of that going on, but
Okay. All right. Does Danny's character have prestidigitation? Do we know that?
Oh, let me check his sheet quick.
Because I'm totally gonna
I
bother him to
believe
wake him up.
he
No, he
does.
does not.
Okay, no one does.
Oh, dang.
I thought one of us did. I can't get it, so
nope.
all right, well let's get you dried out and then get you back in bed and I'm gonna stay up for a while.
Trenton does kind of hear you saying this,
Mm-hmm.
and he just kind of rolls over a little bit and does create bonfire kind of slightly off the floor so it's not catching anything on fire, but now
Yeah.
there's a warm fire that you can dry off by.
Anybody got any string?
Oh,
Yes, we have rope. Yep. And we
I
kind of
have
put
string.
a rope
Well,
thing up and then kind of
okay.
hang the clothes up.
Yeah. Take everything off and hang it over the fire.
Then just left some
You
of the
would
clothes
actually
billowing.
have a spare set of clothes or two here that you left behind before you went on your travels. Uh, and this was the room that you slept in. It was all your own, and you kind of just piled all of your belongings on beds and whatnot. But underneath one of the beds, there is a trunk that still holds some of your old clothes if you would like to change.
Oh, good. I'm gonna go grab my fancy PJs then, because I know they're here. And they're gonna
I
have like the
imagine they're
little.
like
They're gonna.
Christmas pajamas with snowflakes.
They're a black velvet set that has the family emblem just like embroidered right on the chest.
This is the first time any of the rest of you have seen this crest. He usually doesn't wear it,
What's it look like?
and he hasn't really talked about his past besides being here much.
What's the
Nope.
crest? What's the crest look like?
Uh, it goes with his last name.
Okay.
It looks like a kind of like a river
Mhm.
flowing through, but on either side there's fire going.
Okay.
So literally fire river.
Yeah,
Mm.
I don't think Arrow would specifically ask about it, but he would definitely note it. And then, you know, he gets in bed, and then Arrow's going to stay up for a while and kind of write down everything that Lustin said, and in one of his notebooks, and then just kind of hang out for a little bit.
Um, I'm nosy. So I'm gonna as paintbrush. Oh, what's that? And I'm gonna point at it at his chest.
It's really pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah, no.
probably one of my last remnants of my family. I kind of have. Don't even know why I kept it. But I
Oh,
did.
why wouldn't you?
It's hard to
Am I being
explain.
too blunt?
No, you're not. It's okay. It's just odd to think about the past and how it got to be to where you are today.
So are
That's
you a prince too?
uh, not really.
It's better than a thumbs down. I mean, you know.
My sister is more air than me, if that makes more sense. I didn't get the family's ability to be cast magic all the time. I wasn't able to.
That doesn't stop you from being a prince, though. Well,
It
maybe it does.
doesn't,
How
but
do I know?
it doesn't. But same time, they wanted me to be something that I could never be.
You're doing just fine. A little wet. You're doing just fine.
I hope so.
Well, I mean,
That's
I
why I
guess
kind of left in.
it's
No, I was going to. I was going
I
to
was just
say.
saying. Who's
You
gonna go
go
first?
first.
Ahead of my
You go first.
Okay. Oh, I was just gonna say that I guess I don't really have a lot of family, so I think it's cool that you have something, even if it's not the best. At least something.
Yeah, that I understand. It's just, yeah, I don't know anymore. I could probably go back, but I just don't want to anymore.
Well, there's nothing
And
wrong
before
with
you
carving.
came in and went to bed, Lewis did remind you that your brother had been here looking
hmm
for you.
hmm I remember that one. We'll have to speak to sending wizard boy, whoever that is in town.
There isn't a wizard in town that'll do sending, but there is the wizard that does the dream walking,
Dreamwalking, that's what it
which
is.
is how Lewis contacted you originally about your brother being in town.
Okay, then begs the next question: is the Dreamwalker still awake? Because it is nighttime.
He's awake all night, and it's probably about 2 to 3 a.m. ish. So, and you do know from being here before that because he does do his business as uh mostly sending messages uh and people technically into dreams as dream walking, that he would be awake.
Anybody want to go with me really quick so I can go talk to Wizard Boy?
Yeah, I'm up. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Trenton's kind of like, "Ugh, you all go, I will stay here and hold down the fort."
Okay,
The odd fort, but okay.
let's go.
I'll leave Birdie with Trent to keep him company.
Okay.
I am
I'm bringing.
bringing my dragon with me.
I'm bringing my weasel.
Love dragon. And go knock on Dream Walkers.
Okay. So you do go, it's just like a couple of streets over. Again, this is a pretty small town, just a few hundred people. Uh, and as you come upon the familiar building, it's no longer weird to your eyes, but to the rest of you, as you walk up to his workspace, his house, it's almost like a gingerbread cottage. Like he had everything for the outside carved of wood to look like candies and treats. And then a couple of them are things from dreams or nightmares. Like you see some imps that are kind of peeking out of the eaves at the top, and there's like a unicorn on the side. And it is the most oddly whimsical building that most of you have probably ever seen.
Don't worry, he doesn't cook kids.
Fair enough.
I am going to try to take a little piece of what looks like candy
I do not recommend it, but please eat it because I want to see what happens.
As you go up, it is very securely on the wall and very obviously wood.
Mm. And I'm gonna go back to with the group.
Did it work out for you?
No.
As you walk up, there is a bell on the door that if you pull, it rings both outside and inside that you're passingly familiar with since you would make deliveries here for Lewis when you worked for him.
Okay, I'm gonna take it, ring it like 3 times.
As you do, you hear some shuffling inside and a voice say, just
I forgot about this.
and as he comes to the door, he clears his throat. Oh, apologize for that. Uh, spell went odd. How can I help you? Oh, my boy Lustin, it's been a while. How's the city treating you?
I'm back here, so take what with you will.
Could be good, could be bad, but come in, come in. Come outside, come in outside of the. Are, are you in your pajamas, my boy?
He's totally
Yes,
still
I'm
wearing
in
his
my
jammies.
pajamas. Don't worry about it. Okay, I
With the
know.
cloak around him, with the cloak of billowing around.
I mean, I guess I've seen weirder. Yes, yes, you brought friends. This is good, this is good. Come in. Oh, and if you would like some candy, there's some over on the counter. And you do look over Paintbrush, and there
Oh,
is some lollipops and hard candies. And
oh, I'm rushing over as fast as my legs can take me.
he,
Oh,
he
thank you,
try. I'm
thank
gonna
you.
try to try and whisper to the wizard. He tried to eat your house.
well, you tried when you first came here, too.
It looked good, okay? Can't really blame him.
Yes, yes, well, come. At this hour of the night, I take it to mean you're looking for my dream walking services.
I am.
All right, all right. And he takes you over to this section of the floor. It's almost like a sunken in conversation pit kind of thing. So there's like two steps down and then it's just all pillows and comfort. And he sits cross-legged in the middle and he says, "Yes, yes, come. Uh sit before me, sit before me."
Okay, I'm going to walk in and sit on whatever pillow, chair thing that he has ready.
And as you come over, he pulls out his component pouch and he pulls out a handful of sand and uses it to draw a line between the two of you. And then he takes out an inkwell and it's got a dropper in it instead of a quill. And he takes it and just drops out like a little dab of ink. Uh, and then he brings out this writing quill that is just this big, awesome owl feather, you assume. And he dips that into the ink that's in the sand, and then he like writes in the sand almost. And you hear him chanting under his voice. Okay, yes. Let us go, let us go. All right. Uh describe to me the person that you wish to contact.
Well, I'm going to contact my sister first. Actually, no, I'm
Okay,
going to contact my brother first. My brother will be first.
okay, okay. Yes, very well,
And
very
then
well.
describe him pretty much looking like he's always got his fancy suit on. He's got black hair, black eyebrows, uh, dark eyes, and just overall describe him and leave out his
Okay.
outfit though.
uh, he looks at you and he's like, all right, close your eyes and think of your brother. And as you close your eyes, he puts his fingers up to your temples and you feel this power kind of zap into you, and you go into a trance. You are now a messenger in your brother's dreams.
So
You
do
can
I
shape
don't.
his dream as well as give him a message.
Oh, so I can't. I don't actually see him.
uh, it's so the messenger appears in the target's dreams and can converse with the target as long as it remains asleep through the duration of the spell, which is a minute. The messenger can also shape the environment of the dream, creating landscapes, objects, and other images. The messenger can emerge from the trance at any time, ending the effect of the spell early. And the
Okay.
target remembers the dream perfectly upon waking.
Okay. So I'm going to.
The rest of you, as you watch, as soon as the wizard touches his temples, his eyes flash back open, but they're completely white.
I want to. Can I divine sense in here? Okay, I just want to see if this screams Fae. This screams that I know the dream walking spell, but like the candy, this just it oozes Fae. So I want to kind of see if there's anything flipping in like the radius, 60-foot radius.
And that finds what all creature?
Um, it finds where is it? Celestial fiend or undead. Uh, yes, celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet.
You
So I guess it
do
doesn't do Fae.
get just a touch of celestial. He looks human,
Okay, interesting.
but
I think it also like can kind of tell versus like evil and good and things like that.
Yeah.
But also,
If
yeah,
anything's been like basically hollowed or something, or desecrated or consecrated stuff. But
yet all you get is just that tiny touch of the celestial, uh, which having run into them before, you do assume that that means he is why am I blanking on the SMR?
Ace and Asmer, Asmer.
Yeah, SMR.
I think Errol will
Good to
make sure
know.
he's back, like at least a bit away from the circle, but at least keeping an eye on and making sure that Lesson's not being injured or weirdly possessed or anything like that. Since never seen anything remotely like this before, so there's a decent amount of paranoia going.
I'm eating candy. Uh,
I think Amariel seeing Arrow kind of like nervous. I mean, we did this a lot where I'm from. This seems to be a bit more, I guess, focused, so it's
This, but,
safer.
but this is this is pretty normal at least. Or, I mean, it seems like this guy does this fairly often. Okay, all right.
Well,
As
I
long as it's
mean,
cool.
now if it's something that's like modifying dreams, then
I
he
do
might be a little bit
apologize though,
more
quick
open to
lesson.
problems.
The casting time is a minute. The duration is 8 hours. So you can make this last up to 8 hours as long as he's still asleep. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I
No,
just
no.
read that.
But I will, look at Amariala. So if something starts going weird, like let me know, and then we'll get in the middle of it. But other than that, I think we'll just, try to, just relax for a little bit.
Mhm.
And there are quite a few couches around. Like, it's very much one of those rooms where you can tell that he likes to have comfortable surfaces to just sit and think on. Like, looking at him, you imagine he's the type of person that has a notebook in his pocket and will get a thought and has to sit down and write it down. And so he's got comfortable places all over the place for that.
After I get my fill of candy, since I haven't slept yet, I'm just gonna a little cat nap, just a little cat nap. Oh no, I wanna Errol. What is your weasel's name?
I don't know if we've named the weasel because once you name it, bad happens. So he has avoided naming the weasel because he realizes intelligence and wisdom taking a very small animal in these very strange places is a ridiculously bad idea. So while he has, cared for it, he cares for this weasel, obviously, and he likes this weasel, but he has not yet named said weasel yet. So
Can I play with them while we wait?
yes, 100%. Here's some of his treats and things like that. And yeah, feel free. I'm
Do I have
thinking
to make a
he's
animal
more
handling check?
he's more of a
Go
he's more
for
of a
it.
night animal anyways, I think. So this is probably his time to play.
I also just want you all to know that in the Artana fan chat, Maria has just drawn up the Fire River crest and put it in there so you can see it. Thank you,
Nice.
Maria.
Love it.
Look at that.
All right. So we have Leston going into the dream. Oh yeah, paintbrush. What was your animal handling?
18.
Oh yeah, you're fine with the weasel, and he like jumps up in between your ears and like plays with them, and you get your ball of string out, and he's like
No.
trying to grab at it. And
I'd have been so sad if he hated me.
uh are Errol or Amariel? I know you're keeping an eye out. Are you looking anywhere else in the house, or are you just paying attention to what's going on?
Once Amariel said that everything was okay, he'd definitely take a cursory glance over, the exits in the room and kind of give the place a once over, but he's definitely not going anywhere because that would be ridiculously rude for someone who has one of our friends in a trance also. So he kind of doesn't necessarily want to rock the boat unless something's going sideways.
With your passive perception, you notice a bunch of letters up on the desk. And while you're not trying to like snoop or anything, in very fairly large script at the bottom, you do see them all signed by Abris the Absurd.
What's the name?
Abris the Absurd. He is the creator of the parchment that Paintbrush uses to talk to Safzira.
No kidding.
And you would know that if you look on the map, there's two towers.
Mhm.
The northernmost tower is the forbidden tower. It's you think that it was supposed to originally be the forbidden tower, but it is the forbidden tower.
We go any place where we're bidden. Why is everything always forbidden?
But it's
No,
the forbidden tower,
forbidden.
not because he's Avarice the Absurd, but because when I was drawing the map, I wrote Tower of the Forbidden instead of the Tower of the Forbidden and just left it.
It works.
So during this trance, is Abris like doing this the entire time, or is he just kind of like starts the ride and then he's just hanging out?
He has to maintain the connection
Mm-hmm.
with Leston, but he can otherwise talk to him or
Okay.
talk to everybody else.
Okay. Um, and so we know he's related to the Forbidden Tower. Then
Avarice the Absurd is known to inhabit the Forbidden Tower,
okay.
but actually make a history check for me.
History. Oh, that's really bad. Can I add something to that? Hold on. Yes, I can add a D4 to that. Not that it'll matter too much, but we'll do it anyway because that was a garbage roll. It was a 10.
You recall some vague descriptions of Abras the Absurd, and some of them line up. So if he's not Abras, he could be familial.
Okay. Um, once he's not seems not too busy and everything like that, and I'll kind of ask, and sir, do you appreciate your assistance? Do you mind if I ask you some questions while we're passing time or talk a bit?
Oh, yes. I just need to, and he kind of like settles back a little bit, and while he still maintains connection, like he almost completely turns his head around like an owl and is like, "What
Hmm.
were your questions?"
Um, and kind of talk around the subject and said, we're traveling, and we've found some different points on the map, and we're trying to get more information about this tower in the north. And you appear to be someone who's appears to be very knowledgeable and well traveled, and I was just wondering if you can provide any information about it.
Oh,
I'm
the
pointing.
Forbidden Tower.
Yeah, I'm purposely not trying to point out the fact that I can kind of see his name on the sheets, and that I'm not trying to be a total dick about it. So yeah, that one is I've seen that name, and it kind of struck me as a bit different. Do you know anything about it?
Oh, my cousin Abras. He is an odd duck, as his name says. I mean, honestly, if you look around, our family's all kind of a little bit odd. But he rose to greater heights than I could. He did some great work for the land, and he commissioned this tower to be built. And he just is absurd, and so called it the Forbidden Tower. It's been quite some time since I've traveled there. Mostly, I just stick here to the Shining Vale, and we correspond with mail.
Oh, wonderful. And I'm sorry, sir. What was your name? My name is Errol.
Oh, yes, how rude of me. I am Labris.
Labras, it's very wonderful to meet you, and thank you again for your help. Um,
I
is
joke, I joke. My name isn't the exact same as my cousin's with an L, but you fell for
I did.
it. I am Lucius.
You never know what people name family members, so it's not fair to always second guess what they're being told. But I do appreciate the jest. Um, is there anything, if we head towards this tower? Is there anything we should be on the lookout for, or is there a good way to approach Abris, or a good way to travel there that's better than most?
Well, if you're planning on making a trek there, I have a couple letters for my cousin, and if you would be so gracious as to deliver them for me, then I will give you a letter of introduction.
Wonderful. And I will kind of look to Amariel and Paintbrush, and it says, this something that you think we're heading this way? You think that this is something that we can take upon this? I don't want to say we'll do something and then have it take forever to actually do the thing.
I I mean, I don't know what else we're gonna do.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
Paint,
he might know something.
okay. I'll tell you what. We'll definitely deliver the letters, and we appreciate the letter of introduction as partial payment. Do you mind if Paintbrush packs up some of the candy as well, for the journey?
I like your bargaining. Yes, that is perfectly fine.
Wonderful. Is there anything, despite the letter of introduction, is there anything we should be on the lookout for while we're traveling there, or some idiosyncrasies of Abras that we should try to avoid, or any bad traps that he might have set out that we would not be aware of?
Well, as you travel, I would suggest going a little farther north along the river here to cross the bridge that's about a day's ride. Uh, as there's less brigands upon that bridge, and they try to extol tolls from the one down here.
Okay.
As far as approaching the tower, doesn't have malicious traps, but he does like his jokes. And he's forever creating new spells. And occasionally, when he's testing them out as traps, things go boom.
Wonderful. Well, we'll try to announce ourselves as much as we can in advance, and hopefully the letters don't get damaged along the way. But that will definitely be an experience. Is there anything else you'd like us to deliver other than the letters themselves?
I mean, if you know any good jokes, say they're from me.
I will definitely try to come up with some before we arrive, and then add them on. So I do appreciate your assistance, and when we're finished here, I'll definitely collect the letters and some candy, and we'll be on our way. Probably in the morning sometime, depending upon how we sleep.
All right. Lustin, how are you shaping this dream to your brother?
It's going to be the coastline, of course, because it's what Leston's most familiar with. And there's just going to be two chairs in there, one for him and then one for his brother. Just kind of sitting in the sand as the waves wash up and cross their feet.
Do you picture this beach and coastline with the maelstrom or without it?
Without it.
All right. So you sit there for what feels like a couple minutes. You do know that your brother has some odd sleep habits at night occasionally, but eventually he does walk up. I kind of looks down and he's like, "Well met, brother," and sits down in the other chair and he's like, "Never seen this view without the storm. Interesting.
Quite enjoyable, is it not?
The dream is that in our lifetime the storm will pass. What can I do for you?"
Well, I want to know how you are first, actually.
Well, the reason I came to find you is
Swear if
that,
you say it's because of our sister?
well, weird things have been happening with her. She seems off. And, well, she seemed off.
What do you
Just
mean
received word
seemed?
yet I just received word yesterday that she has disappeared.
No word, nothing. Nothing from mother and father.
I received a sending spell from father, and he said that she had gone up to her room to get ready for bed as always. And then the next morning, there was no sounds throughout the night, nothing besides a random sort of thunk. And all they found upon entering her bedroom was her brush on the floor and the vanity seat pushed out.
Okay, I know I'm going to sound crazy telling you this. Did they do anything with the vanity? Did they touch the vanity? Check it out?
Mm, I'm not sure, but as it does kind of appear magical, mother and father just closed the door and they have uh, summoned for one of their wizard friends to come and check it out.
Don't do that. Tell them to get there. When you wake, as soon as this ends and you wake up, send father us send to father and tell him don't do that. Do not have a wizard go into that room. It needs to be you or I that go into that room next.
May I ask why?
I fear that she was speaking with something through the mirror, and it finally
Why
got
would
its
you think that?
payment. Call it a hunch.
Well, all right. I'm in Bell Morale now.
I
Out of
just left.
characters. Stag.
Yes.
Where uh along the coast do you have Leston from?
Um. Oh shoot. I was gonna say the warm coast. Whatever, because I remember
Okay,
you
so
saying
it
that
was
one of them is cold and then the other one was hot. So
yeah,
I don't
so
remember what it was.
up in that northeast corner is where the ice fields are, and that's why Belmoral is always snowy and cold, is because of those. Down north, that's the Shattered Wastes, that crater looking area. Then along the bottom is warm. It is a complete desert and really hot in the southwest. And then it's temperate and kind of jungle in the northwest.
The northwest corner.
Okay, I would say then that you were from along the coast to near where the islands are.
Mhm.
So just past Abras's tower. So you are closer to home than he is.
Okay.
And you don't know it yet, but you're headed for the Forbidden Tower.
Yay. Cool. I could possibly kill two birds with one stone. Maybe. This is gonna be a fun family reunion.
Well, it has been quite a few years since any of the family has seen you.
I
It would be
know. I've tried to keep it that way.
no mother miss.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I will let you keep your reasonings to yourself for now.
You try growing up
Was
without the
this a
magic.
real dream, or am I just talking to myself in the dream?
I'm gonna transform into him.
I'm talking to myself.
No,
None
you're
of this is
talking to
true.
me. You're just an idiot. It's fine.
Well, I wouldn't call myself an idiot, so sounds right.
Do I have to, when I find mom, do I have to tell her about your private collection under your bed?
What makes you think she doesn't know?
Because you have only told me about it.
Fine, fine.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to take this as a true dream, as long as I actually remember it in the morning. And I will leave from Belmoral and head back towards home.
We'll probably see you there.
Where are you currently? Because I'm in Belmoral and I stopped in the Shining Vale, and that's how I found out you were here after talking to that odd dwarf man that
Let's
apparently
just
you
say
work
that you
for.
just missed me and the dream right there.
So as you come to, you look forward, and Lucius's head is almost completely turned away from you while his body is still facing you, and he's talking to Errol. Oh,
There's a
oh,
lot
his
of.
head comes back around and he's like, "You're back." And he lets go of your head, and uh I trust it was to your satisfaction.
It was. Thank you very much. How much do I owe you again?
Well, this one is gonna be on the house because your friends have agreed to deliver some letters to my cousin for me.
So we're going to your cousin's tower?
You do know that his cousin is Abras. You just haven't said
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. Good.
Yes, to
Because
the
I need to make
Forbidden
a pit
Tower.
stop at home first. And I'm gonna
Oh,
look
we get
That's
to
over
see
past
it?
to
the tower.
past the wizard's tower.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would say it's probably about a week's travel past, and we'll say that your town is right below that first island closest to the tower.
Okay.
So you're quite familiar with the area around the tower, as you and your brother as kids would sneak off and try and meet Abris.
Sounds like
That
we
seems
would
like something that teenagers in this world would do.
probably go find the creepy wizard, guys. See
Yeah.
if we can't go make his traps explode because we can.
Yeah. And then Errol will kind of sigh because he knows that his god had his initial issues with the wizard's tower. So I wasn't hoping to avoid wizard's towers, but I suppose they aren't all bad. It's
Well, at least your issues were with the southern tower.
true.
I mean, towers are just clearly big buildings. What can be bad about them?
Nah, it's
Lots.
just like people. It's what's on the inside that you can have problems with.
I mean, with
There's bad
Abris, it could
stone?
be Abris. There could be a lot of stuff that goes wrong outside the tower as well.
So
Sure, you
Mario,
told
what
them about the fireball trap, right?
Well, he was testing out a new way to do fireball.
It didn't
So
It's
go well.
Abris's fireball, and I mean, he was trying to make it just different and interesting, but all he ended up doing was making it purple.
it's different.
Oh,
So yeah, Mario, what I was meaning is when it's something bad on the inside, that's the person living in the tower would be the bad thing on the inside. And when someone goes wrong or someone is evil, it's usually something that happens on their inside. So their soul or their emotions or something like that, which can then
oh.
affect the outside. But I doubt it'll happen with Abris as long as we're careful, enjoy ourselves, and deliver the letters in one piece, we will be fine.
Okay.
Well, if you do show up with some sweet bread, he's got a weakness.
Oh, I think I can make some. We'll have to see. I'll try to make some and wrap it before we leave then. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, you might
You're
want to
welcome.
make it a little closer to the tower because
Oh, I
that's
thought it
about
was a
a
day.
month trip.
Oh, I thought I was like, because that's what I said. It's just a day's ride. I'm like, wait,
No,
I
the
thought it
day's
was
ride
5
is up to the northern
Northern Post.
bridge
Yep.
to go over.
And then okay,
Because if
that's.
you
I'm
look
like,
at
I was
the
like,
if
I
you look
thought
at the
that was
map
way
that's
farther.
on stream,
Mm-hmm.
the blue dot is the Shining Vale where you guys are now, and that was a 2-week journey
Okay,
from the
that's what I
X that
thought.
is Belmoral. So yeah, you've
Okay,
got
so
to
we
go a
have
little north
this all the way to go.
and then
Okay,
travel
yeah,
along the coast up to
At
the
a distance.
I can make sweetbread whenever I want. But yes,
Look over to Paintbrush and be like, I mean, you can't have the first couple bites, okay?
Mm,
well,
I'm
he
so
already
happy.
he already agreed to give us some candy for the road too, so I think we'll be okay.
Yum.
Okay.
Well, if you're off in the morning, here are the letters. This is partial payment, this dream walk, and the candy as well. And I give you what tips I can.
More than enough, especially if Luston got what they needed and to talk to their family. That's going to be cheaper than any kind of sending spell with a lot more information to be applied. So thank
Mhm.
you. Wonderful.
Have a good rest of your night. I do.
Good
And
night.
he ushers you out the door and shuts it behind
Mhm.
you. Amariel, you've been thinking on it since Lustin explained the dream. Roll me a history check.
Not horrible. Not horrible. That is a 16.
I set the DC at 15.
Yeah.
So, as you've been thinking about not just the dream, but also the vision of his sister going gaunt and skeletal and dissolving when you all had the traumatizing visions back in Belmoral, and you recall a story from the Feywild of a creature from the abyss, a fetch that will target uh humanoids on the prime material plane and interacts with them through mirrors and slowly feeds off of their fear of each time they catch a glimpse of it in the mirror until finally they can replicate the image of the person. And once it's gotten to that point, they will actually pull them through the mirror and take them to the abyss.
Lustin, do you want the good news or the bad news?
Give me the bad news first, so hopefully the good news can counteract it.
Your sister might be in the abyss.
Okay, that's the bad news. Now give me the good news, whatever it will be. Please be
The
good.
monster that's taken her, possibly. Uh, well, it has to suck a lot of life out of her first. Um, so maybe that's a good thing. But it's a fetch, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know how much time she's actually going to have. When I last saw her in the dream, she didn't look all that great.
She still
Oh,
looked healthy. It was the image in the mirror that did not,
Oh, okay.
that smiled wickedly at her and then was able to reach through and pull her through.
it scares you to death almost in a way. It like takes things out of you until you're weakened enough that it can, well, like I said, pull you into the abyss. Um, but I don't know if it'll get to
Know how
that.
to get rid of it?
Um, Usually hitting it really hard with the hammer works.
I like that method, but I don't know if that'll actually work or not.
Hey, can try it.
I have a feeling that my sister's vanity thingy, makeup, whatever, is a big clue to this. And if we break that, I don't know if we're ever going to get my sister back.
You also know, Amariel, that the shadow demon that killed Nineveh is also from the abyss.
Hey, there, the abyss sucks. There's a lot of bad things there, and I'll do whatever necessary to help. Okay.
I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you. But we can take care of whatever's going on with my sister after we take care of the wizard tower.
Uh, is it on the way? The sister
It's
family?
past the tower
It's
by
past the
about
Past the tower.
it's about a 5-day journey past the
Okay.
tower.
Right, well, we can't spend too much time on necessarily on the tower if it literally is involving your sister's life. So, but it's in that direction, so we're going that way anyway.
Hopefully, we don't take longer than a day to do this wizard's bullshit.
No, we don't have the time. So okay,
And
let's.
thinking back on your dream, you remember the voice that said, "And thus from chaos the storm was born, to protect the world from where darkness torn. The abyss was opened and Artena shorn. Defeat the darkness to quell the storm." So the abyss keeps coming up.
Son of a bitch. I hate the abyss.
Sorry, inside joke.
It's so dark in there.
Yeah, it can be useful at times, but yeah.
But yes, so the pieces are slowly starting to come together that not only what's happening to your families or your friends uh, is connected to what has happened to Artena in general that caused the storm that surrounds it.
We defeat the abyss in this maelstrom goes away. This does not sound like a possible victory for us.
Everything else one step at a time. We'll just get information on this fetch thing, get information on the abyss, layers, whatever else we have going on, and we'll be able to get some questions answered, hopefully, at this tower. And then try to get any information in the towns along the way, maybe find some books or something like that. Who
I
knows?
feel like we have one of the most important books right there with Brenton.
That's true.
Oh, the brain book.
The brain.
I will burn that thing one day.
Will you though?
Okay, correction.
Damn
I
it,
will
I don't know
freeze
where
it.
Sally is. I can't torment you with Sally.
Correction. I will freeze it.
All right, so you all head back to Lewis's, and Trenton he's reached his 4-hour meditation point, but he's still laying in bed. And as you walk past, he's showing some of the same symptoms that Amarielle did when she was sick. And he has the fever and the slight sheen of sweat and the labored breathing.
Oh boy. All right.
Y'all getting sick is
Well.
giving me story.
Well, hopefully it'll pass the same it did with the Mario. Kind of before we head back to bed, he will cast a healing word on Trenton, knowing it's not going to do anything.
All right. So you do all find your rest. You do take a long rest, as you know you'll be starting a long journey in the morning. So it's probably about 9 a.m., 10 a.m. when you finally come out, and you do find Lewis, having already opened the store, in conversation with Lucius, who has come to call. They are arguing currently over whether or not the glass tchotchkes should be smashed or not. Leston, you recall this as a regular thing whenever Lucius would come into the store. The glass figurines spark something in him where he just wants to smash them all. Like, it's just an impulse.
Please do not smash his inventory. It's not worth it.
I know I wouldn't ever do it, my boy, but it helps. Well, shit. Now I've given away that I'm not ever gonna do it. Well, fuck. Ah,
Good
good
job.
day. Deliver those letters.
Well, we
And he
will.
walks out. Lewis kind of looks over and he's all like, deliver letters?
Yeah, we'll
He
be going.
asks you guys about
Yeah, we will be heading out to go see his cousin and deliver letters.
Oh, yes. Him and his cousin have a very lively correspondence, and oh, wait. You have business going to the Forbidden Tower. Cannot say that with a straight face.
I mean, to deliver
Yeah,
the
we do,
letters
but
now.
we gotta go quick. Is there anything you need before we leave? Because because we had a timetable to go on. Um,
Well, the mural is done and it's done beautifully. As payment, pick one of the glass figurines that you would like to take. Basically, Paintbrush, you can describe almost any glass figurine and he probably has
Oh,
it.
ooh, what do I want? Um, oh, I'm bad at thinking of things right on the. I want a lucky cat figurine. I want him to be white. Um, yeah, just a little
He
lucky
kind of
cat.
looks up and around and he points out, well, there are three different cat figurines. One seems to be like a white and black tiger. Uh, One looks to be just a white domestic house cat, and one is a white lion.
Oh, I want the white tiger one.
All right, and he takes it down and he wraps it up for you and puts it in like two different bags, and he's all like, for protection. And then you can put it in your bag and hopefully it doesn't break.
Could you have it sent to Trenton's
Well, I
apartment?
have not sent his off yet either, so yes, all right. I will pack it up with that and have it sent on to his dormitory.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
If you're traveling to the Forbidden Tower, and to be explosions, so probably a good idea. Anyway, safe travels to all of you. Here, and he like ups any of your rations since he does know that this is like a month-long trip. He's got enough for about 2 weeks for each of you, but he does uh Lustin, you do know that there's a more general store in town that will have more rations and other various items that you might want to pick up. Not likely to be any magic items. They're just not easily come by in a small place like the Shining Vale.
Okie
But you
dokie,
can
we're going to.
but you can pick up any ancillary items that you need, anything like that. Uh is there anything else anybody is looking for while in town?
I I think Trenton needed ink, so I'm going to. Uh,
If you're speaking of the expensive specific ink that he needs to copy spells, pretty much the only place you're going to find it is if Lucius has any, as a wizard himself.
Oh, good. I
oh,
got to go talk to Lucius again.
Get to.
I am going to go over to Trenton. Hey, hey,
Yeah.
hey! I'm gonna go get ink. But I don't have enough money. I don't know how much it costs. So I was gonna have some of your money so I can buy you ink.
Let me look. Yeah, he doesn't have enough that it would cost for the ink, but you can always go and talk to Lucius and see if he's willing to barter any.
Oh,
And
okay.
then I'll hand Paintbrush the scroll of command, and then chunk that out in here. See if we can trade this in. Lustin, we got those. See if you can. I know you need some of the same ink, and then grab those siren feathers that you pulled off, and see if they need those for any components. If you don't need them, and then you both can probably barter for some of those. You don't want me talking because I'm terrible at bartering. So, so yeah, I'll pass off the scroll of command, and then the. Oh yeah, I already gave Lustin the feathers that I pulled anyway. Um, Arrow is probably going to go and kind of restock on any bits and bobs of food and things like that 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 he would have spent along the way. Kind of any other rations or anything else like that.
All right. Yeah. You go down the street in the direction that Lewis sent you, and you do find the general store, and it's just run by a quiet human woman. You do find enough rations for the trip. I'll say that it cost you like 5 gold total. Uh, and she does throw in some cooking components since
Okay.
you got talking to her probably about cooking.
Hmm.
So you've got some flour and some oil and stuff like that so that you can do some cooking.
Okay. How many days were we traveling the first round?
You traveled about it wasn't quite 2 weeks, but it was a little over a week and a half, so like
Okay.
12 or 13 days.
Okay. So it definitely have been out. So how many rations did we buy this time?
Lewis had enough for all of you for 2 weeks
Okay.
that
Okay.
he just gave over since
Oh, so I didn't need.
Lustin
Okay.
is his boy.
Yep. Okay. So we have 14 days of rations, and then I just bought the other cursory stuff that I usually use, right? From the
You
general
got
store.
some cooking stuff, but the 5 gold is for 2 weeks worth of rations. So you do
Okay.
have rations for the whole trip, but then you do
Okay.
have some cooking stuff in
Okay.
case you don't just
That
want to
makes.
eat rations.
Yep. Okay. Okay. And I am broke. 'Cause that was the rest of my goal.
You say that now till we get to the fucking tower, and the dude's just gonna be like, "Here's 5,000 gold because you're gonna go to the abyss."
But I have a pack of bear bearings, and I have a feather of slightly falling. So who's the real winner here? Oh, and the dead man walks thing too. So I'm giving people all my stuff to sell. All right. Okay, that's all. Eric kind of like literally
I
like empties out except for a couple silver.
Give
Yes.
me an investigation check of your bags as you're taking out the last of your money.
24.
You find as you're feeling around what feels like a false bottom in one of your bags.
What?
And you open it, and there's a note from your grandmother with a
Grandma,
bag of 20 gold that says,
what?
for when you run out of money and you need this. I've been holding on to that one because you were spending your money the fastest.
Well, yeah. Oh, I love you, Grandma. Like I'd take out the little note. I'm like, so cool. I had to buy all your homemade magic items and stuff. Come on, it's a ball that turns into a bear. Bear walks around like,
I got two of those things, 2 bags of that.
Money's well spent, honestly.
yeah. All right. And I look at it and I'm like, oh, Graham. Because also with the Dalkins, they're not the most huggy, touchy, feely individuals, and that's why Arrow is a bit different in some of those aspects. And so he's slowly trying to work on that thing. So for Grandma to have packed that in a nice false bottom is super cool. So yeah.
And on that note, we are going to go ahead and take our break. Yep, there's Cat. Okay. Thank you for everybody that's been hanging out with us. And we will see you back here in 5 to 10 minutes. Hello and welcome back. Before we went on break, a series of events have led the party to preparing for a trek to the Forbidden Tower and beyond. They have some letters from Lucius the Wizard to his cousin Abris. They have been warned of the test spells that are kind of laid as traps and might go boom. Lustin has some experience with this as it was only a 5-day ride for uh, him and his brother to go and test their mettle against the tower as teenagers. Also, they are going to go beyond to see if they can't do anything about his sister probably being snatched by a fetch. And the abyss is popping up more and more, as well as chaos. I'm not entirely sure how they intertwine yet, though. And so you are provisioned. You still have your cart and your 3 horses. They have been stabled and well cared for over the night at a local. The inn has a stable where you were able to house them, and their coats are shiny, and they've been well fed, and they are ready for the trip. Trenton, still not feeling well, curls up on the bags in the back like Amariel had on the trip here. And so you are off. Paintbrush, are you driving again?
Oh, we were going to stop by Lucius to
Oh,
get
yes,
inky.
to ask about ink. Yes. So
Um,
on your way to the stable, you do stop by his house, ring the bell. He kind of groggily comes to the door, and he's in one of those sleep hats that like dangles and has the little puffball at the end, and like blue and orange striped jammies. And he's like, I was just going to bed. What can I do for
Hello, good sir. I was wondering if you had any fancy ink for what class is he? For wizards.
And for me too.
you? Do you need expensive ink or just okay? Uh
The 10 gold ink.
okay. Uh well, the 10 gold ink, that can just be regular ink that you get anywhere.
Oh,
It's
okay.
special, yeah, it's special ink that the wizards need for copying spells. He's like, "Well, I do have an extra inkwell of it. What do you have in trade for me?"
We
um,
have this, and Lesson will pull out feathers and a few and a scroll
magical.
and yeah.
Mhm.
He takes the siren feathers and he's all like, "Oh, oh, I haven't. You ran into a siren?
Yes.
Interesting. These will make amazing quills. Yes, the scroll and the feathers are plenty, are plenty. Can do many things. I accept your bargain." And he does give over an inkwell of, let me make sure exactly. Should be fine ink. I'm gonna look in Trenton's inventory and add it for him. Oh, nope, that's not actually. Let me just. Hmm. I always thought that it was a separate thing. Oh wait.
But I don't want to go away. I want to stay here.
All right. Yeah. I'll just add another inkwell and note it as special. And so you have traded for some fine ink. And then you go on to the stables and you are on your way.
Wee! You to go have some fun.
So you do start to head north along the river. It is a couple hours to get to the river, but you head north up towards the bridge. Leston, you do remember as well that from your time there that the bandits did like to try and get tolls on the bridge down there, as it's the more well used bridge. But it's about a 5-hour ride, and you do get to the northern bridge. It does have railings, but it's like rope that is tied onto some posts, and it's wood plate, like it's almost like a floating wood platform over the river, and so it is a little treacherous to get across. Let me have paintbrush make an animal handling and dexterity check for getting across the bridge with the cart.
Oh, don't fail me now, dice. Ooh, okay. 19, 18, and then I have my modifiers. Animal handling 21, and plus 4, 22 for my dexterity.
Okay, yeah, you like bend forward, like your tail has like is holding onto the bench so you can lean forward and pet the butts of the horses and be like, "It's okay, it's okay." And the one behind kind of whinnies a little bit, but is fine following. You do make it across the bridge without any horses attempting to fall
Oh. I'm gonna eat some candy as a little congratulations to myself.
in. And so, you begin your trek. Uh it's gonna take, like I said, about a month, and we'll start it off with, for the first week of travel, let me get, we'll go Steve. Just roll me a d20.
Oh, that's a 7.
What did I tell you about rolling the dice on the computer?
Gosh, watch. Here, where's my D20? Roll, roll here. Watch.
The computer dice
It
are
was-
all cursed.
Damn it, it's 14.
See?
You're trotting along on the road. It's not as kind of a road as the one that the southern bridge would take you on. You're passing through not really a forest of any kind, but it does have trees that come up close on it. And you come to a corner. And as you come around it, arrayed in front of you are 6 bandits.
Oh, good.
Hello, hello. What have we
Oh,
here?
it's you again. Hello.
If you want to pass, you must pay our toll.
there any of them that are
I
there any of them that are hidden off to the side that I might be
With
able
your
to see?
passive perception, you see the 6 arrayed in front of you,
Hmm.
and you look off to the left, and there is one with a crossbow in the uh trees.
Okay. How far is the one with the crossbow away?
About 40 feet.
Okay.
Leston, as you're looking at the bandits, give me a history check.
Oh, good. Not bad. That's a 13 total.
You recognize on their arms, they've got armbands that are red with a green star on them. And these bandits are usually pretty open to negotiation and won't necessarily attack if they are given at least somewhat interesting.
Okay, so you want to try to shake us down. I don't think that's going to be a very good idea for you all. Why don't you just let us pass?
Give us something what for, and we will let you pass.
Hmm.
y- I guess if you want our illness, you can come closer and take our things.
At
You need
that
an
cue, Trenton does give out a very racking cough from the back of the cart. So go ahead and make a persuasion check with advantage for that.
All right.
It reminds me of the Hobbit troll scene. Like they're riddled with
Yep.
worms.
No.
Persuasion. That is a 24.
An illness, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Is it like the plague?
Just like it.
Horrible.
The one talking kind of takes a step back and, well, all right then. We don't want your sickness. Pass on, pass on. And they all kind of like put up scarves and cover their mouth and noses. You go past and they go hide in the trees.
That's nice work. So I was about to smoke one of those fools with a guiding bolt, Josh, I was going downhill. I was gonna smoke that guy in the bushes.
And so you continue on. You've been on the road for a week. The second week rolls around. Mary, roll me a d20.
Okay. D20.
Uh-huh.
12.
You come upon, this is actually kind of perfect with your background.
Oh no.
It's not fun.
That doesn't. Oh
You
no.
come upon a group of 8 people, 7 of which just look like commoners. But leading them, and they don't have horses, they don't have carts. They're just walking along, and at the front of the group leading them is a druid woman with a gnarled staff, walking barefoot, leading them along.
Do I recognize the markings?
Go ahead and give me a either religion or nature check.
Oh jeez. They're the same. I'll go ahead and do nature. Or religion. Yeah, I'll do religion. That's a 15.
You do recognize she does have tattoos snaking up her arms. And they do look like those of Satara.
Eh. I'm gonna try and lay low.
What is wrong with this one?
It's just I don't really wanna. Maybe we should just go fast past these guys.
Why?
Not sure if we want to ask why at this point, or if we should just keep moving.
I mean,
I
they're not.
mean,
It's just uncomfortable. They're druids, and yeah.
All right, that's all you need to say. We'll keep moving.
Yeah. Luckily, they're not from home, though.
step
We're
on it.
going to
gonna-
try to.
Yep.
I don't know how well I'll be able to hide, but
Oh no,
I'm gonna try.
No, I'm casting invisibility on you.
Oh no.
It'd be like the what the hell are they called? No, I can't remember what the hell they're called. Deathwalkers from Lord of the Rings.
Ring race.
She's going, yeah. She's gonna go invisible, but they're still gonna see her like.
Yeah.
So at least casting invisibility on her now. She doesn't want to be seen.
I don't know if I'll go as far as like I don't want to waste a spell on it, but I think it's just
It
there's
doesn't.
a
It doesn't even count as.
uncomfortable energy.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't count as. It doesn't count towards the spell slot.
Okay.
So yeah, you go invisible in the back of the cart. The rest of you, as you roll past, uh the 7 people following all have matching amulets around their necks that are the jagged spiral you keep seeing.
What?
Oh, come on now. This is some bullshit.
Um. Oh man. Hmm. Hmm. It said, Marielle, should we get some information while you stay hidden? Because that's kind of the thing that we've been seeing everywhere. And oh, buddy,
Yeah,
my
I don't think
mystery,
I
my
can stay hidden if that's
my mystery
oh
sense
God.
is my mystery sense is tingling.
So do you want me to? Do you
If
want
they
us to
have
stop the
this
cart now?
spiral, then she knows I'm here. So
All right, slow down, slow down. Oh, this is a bad
Slow the
idea.
horses.
Oh, it's a
This
bad
is a
idea.
great idea. I want to get to know why you all are so scared of them.
Hmm.
So yes, you have drawn alongside them, and you start to slow as you come upon the druid leading them, which is how you noticed all the amulets.
Hmm.
What do you do?
Gonna let Lustin take lead on this, and as we slow down, Errol's gonna stay on the far side of the cart and wait for shit to go sideways.
Oh boy, this is going to be fun.
You don't want me
Hello,
to.
friends.
Hello.
She looks up and gives you a nod. Hello, fellow travelers.
What is it you all are doing in the forest?
It's not so much a forest, like there are trees, but it is like as you're getting out of the actual cold area, like it is at the point in the second week that you're able to shrug off jackets and stuff like that and just be fine in like short sleeves. Uh it's more of a plains area with like copses of trees along the
Okay,
road.
okay.
She stops and all of the others stop behind her. Well, we are making a privilege, a pilgrimage.
What's a pilferage?
Words are hard, y'all. I am a dedicated of Satara, and these supplicants are all people that wish to ask her of various things. Uh, and so I'm taking them to one of her wild temples that is about a 2 days journey from where we are now.
Oh, so what is it the symbols around their neck mean?
I am not entirely sure. I had a dream that said I should make them, and any supplicants that because my main calling is to travel around and find those supplicants that wish to address the lady personally. And so I take them to one of the various temples raised to her in the wilds, and occasionally she will even appear to them. And she let me know that this symbol is important in this time, and
What
that any
the?
supplicants should wear it.
Is there any like reason why? Is it like a symbol of protection? Is it just a
I am
symbol?
unsure. She showed me the symbol. She had the stem of a rose in the symbol, and she instructed me to have uh the symbol put onto clay amulets that they would wear. And then as soon as they are done with their supplication, they give them back to me and I keep a hold of them for the next group. And you do see that there's about 4 or 5 others that are hanging on leather thongs from her belt.
What's supplication?
When you go unto one of the temples of the deities, and you pray there.
So it's just like you're leading them in the prayer. That's it.
I'm gonna look this word up actually, because
Oh, Mariel's in the background, human man. Oh,
I'm trying to say it loud enough so hopefully Mariel hears it all.
oh yeah, she's hearing it. She's hearing it.
uh, to be a supplicant is to earnestly ask for the help of one of the deities, nigh on begging when you've hit a low so low that the only way up is through divine intervention.
And so I'm Errol at this point is kind of leaning, kind of just arms up, kind of leaning on the cart and kind of whispering under his breath to Amario, "Are we smoking these fools or what are we doing
I
here?"
no, I can't kill them. Um, if we can get them to get out before that happens, they don't know what they're getting into.
So
We're
this is what uh
we're about to
this is
have
what
lunch. We're about to sit down and eat. Do you want to sit with us while I cook something up real quick so we can talk some more? Because I find this very interesting, and we've seen this symbol before. So if you don't mind talking for a bit while I make something, that would be great. Essentially, Errol's trying to get a better feel on these people she's leading and seeing if they have their wits about them and if they choose to be there. If they don't choose to be here, we're going to mess this lady up. But if they want to be there, there ain't nothing that Errol's going to do about
With
it.
your passive investigation, you do notice that the seven supplicants, they all are wearing not tattered clothing, but it is dirty, and they each are clutching at the amulet is still visible, but they're like clutching at the leather that it's tied onto around their necks.
Hmm.
Uh, and they each look deeply committed to make an insight check to see what they might be feeling there.
All right. Is insight one of the nope investigation is? So let's pop that on. 25.
Nice.
the computer rolled well.
Did rolled an 18.
uh, as you look into each of their faces, you see people that are so grief stricken that they're holding on to any thread of absolution that they can find. And for them in this moment, it is through Satara. And you do know that Satara is one of the deities in the Glame Empire. She was a half elf, uh, very drawn to things that had to do with the moon and birds. Um, she was known as, even before she was raised, she was known as the Wandering Mistress. And it was through her courage and attempts at diplomacy during uh, the war that had happened about, I want to say it was 300 years previously. It was a 4-year war between the followers of the deities of the Crimson Veil and the Forsaken Reach. And because of that, uh, it demolished much of the plains where the Shattered Wastes are. At the peak of the war, Satara, after much traveling and learning of her craft, had become an archdruid. And she waded into the Battle of the Frozen Falls, which is at the northern end of the Shattered Wastes. And at the peak of the war, she attempted to bring an end to the fighting after so much destruction had already happened. Uh, she brought the fighting to a standstill when the light of another full moon, uh, she was born on the night of a full moon, uh, almost infused her body, and she turned into an ancient white dragon, decimating the fighters on both sides. Uh, when diplomacy didn't work, she had the courage to go out there and just end it. The magic users on both sides attempted to take her down, and that clash of strong magics from the three parties cratered the land for miles. It's easily like a 60 to 70-mile wide crater that is now in the ground that took out both sides of this war. After that is when she was raised. Uh, the
So she's not
dogma of
necessarily evil.
those that worship her, it's based on truth, natural order, discovery, revering life, and liminal times and spaces. It teaches of a reverence for the lives of all things and looking after the natural order to keep wars like the one in which she took her place from happening. She also looks after travelers and wanderers who remind her of who she was before all the power.
Okay, so she's not necessarily evil.
No,
No,
if she
she's
was
not.
if she was considered, since I don't really do the alignments, she
Yeah.
would be considered neutral good.
Cool.
All right. Well, Errol's going to start, kind of acting like he's getting some of his cooking stuff out and is going to ask them if they want to sit down for, an hour or so.
She bows her head to you a little bit and she's like, a repast would be refreshing. And there is a side off to the road that you can see that's probably just another like quarter of a mile away that is set up for camping or sitting down for a fire.
I'm going to, ask if I said, do you mind if I have one of your supplicants come with me to collect some wood and some other things that we're going to need. We can look this way, and Lesson, if you want to take one of the other ones and check the other direction, see if we can get some tinder and stuff to get a fire started. Basically, trying
And
to
yeah, you can see
separate
like
them.
the trees are far enough spread out that it would take you away from any listening ears
Yep.
to collect it. Uh, she looks over and two of the men do bow quite low to her, and each of them follow one of you towards the
Okay.
trees to collect firewood.
I wanna. I'm seeing that these people are sad, so I want to do like a morale booster. So I'm gonna get my flute ready, give some candy out, and then try to do like an upbeat flute, fluting, flute playing.
They do turn down the candy, but the
Monsters,
music.
kill them.
Bye bye.
The music is welcome. Roll me a performance check.
18 plus performance plus 3, 21.
Yeah, you do a merry little tune, and while they don't by any means look to be exuberant or anything like that, you do catch one of them kind of tapping their foot to the beat. Uh, but they all are going about setting up, they're pulling out rations and the like to add to whatever. One of them does pull out uh, a warm blanket as Trenton walks over and sits down with everybody and like wraps him in the blanket, noticing that he doesn't feel well. But the music is lively, the music is beautiful. You play amazingly on your flute this time.
Yes. Got that practice in.
Yeah.
While we're walking off, what's your name, friend?
I am Brian.
Hey, Brian, my name's Errol. How are you feeling? And he's gonna kind of offhandedly start looking for wood and stuff like that.
I am much aggrieved. My wife, she passed from a wasting sickness not a fortnight ago. And
Apologize.
so when the Lady Davina came through my town, I felt a pull to her, and she said that those like me that feel lost, if we wander to those spaces sacred to Satara, uh, she may be able to give me a measure of peace.
That's that's wonderful to hear. And he's gonna turn his back and pop a detect magic, not ritually casting it since I want it to go off now. And take a look at Brian when I turn back
Uh,
around.
Looking at Brian, you're still close enough that it lights up a couple of your party members.
Mm-hmm.
None of the supplicants have anything magical on them.
Okay.
Uh, the druid, her staff is magical,
Okay.
as well as the necklace she wears.
Okay. So he's doesn't appear to be under any specific effects or anything like that.
Nope.
Okay. And so you came across this individual willingly. You wanted to go and see what they have to offer.
She seems to take after her mistress and wanders through many towns, many cities. And when she sees those of us with a mark upon their soul, a sadness that weighs, she offers us the chance to take those worries and those woes to Satara and be absolved.
That sounds very comforting. Um,
Give
and
me an insight check, quick.
mhm. That's going to be no, it's investigation. So it's going to be a 14. Not very good.
Uh, Looking at him, what he's saying is truthful. You do see a little bit of guilt that is underlining it.
Brian, I'm a doctor or cleric of sorts. And you said your wife passed of the wasting sickness.
Yes, clerics came and tried to help, but it was we didn't have the money for the great magics. Uh, and so she passed.
Why don't you have a seat? You've been walking for quite a while. Let me make sure that you're feeling okay. Let me check your feet to make sure that it's not injured. I don't want your journey to be any longer than it has to be. And I would like to kind of do a medicine check to see if he's been given anything or I can kind of see how he's doing.
Okay, give me a medicine check.
Yeah. 15.
He seems in good health. His feet, they all are like the druid barefoot. Uh it does look as if he's been walking barefoot for a good number of days, if not weeks. Uh but there's no sores or injury. It just looks like calloused from all the
Yeah.
walking.
Okay. And then so Brian, what's the actual thing troubling you? What's the guilt from?
I I fear that it was I that gave my wife the sickness. I
Uh,
had been traveling to another town, and I went through the poorer part of town. I like to give out goods, food, and the like to those less well off than I. And one of them had the sickness, and I didn't think that I had gotten it, but my wife was she was frailer, and I believe it's my fault that she got sick, and my generous heart that meant we didn't have the money to have a cleric heal her.
Oh, you maybe that may have happened. Did anyone else get the sickness in your town after you returned?
No, just her. As soon as she was sick, I stopped going about. We had deliveries made where they left goods on the porch, and we left the coin for them. No one else got it, thankfully. It did not spread, but
Was your wife a giving individual?
she was.
Do you think, knowing what had happened, do you think she would have been upset with you if you would have said, "Well, they were poor and they might have been sick, so I did not help"? Would she have been happy that you said that, or sad that you said that?
She would have been sad. She would have understood, but alas,
Mm.
it is still my fault.
No, my friend, it was an instance of circumstance, nothing more. It wasn't someone's, will or wishes or whatever the case may be. You could have gotten it from anywhere. She could have gotten it from anywhere. It may have been her time. She may have been called home, just as you're feeling a calling now. But to throw away your life, do you think she would have been pleased with that? To see you walking barefoot, not feeling well, leaving everything that you had built together behind because of a single mistake? Is one mistake doubled down to create a second mistake better than the first one?
Well, I still have my home to go back to, and
Hmm.
the supplication is just the journey. It's about a 3-week journey, and perhaps Tara can bring me a measure of peace that I can't bring myself. I do this willingly, if that is what you're hedging around.
No. As long as you're willing and that you are not making another mistake because of a single one. It's the important part. At this
Lady
point,
Davina asks no money of us. We bring our own rations, but she sees to any injuries that we do incur from walking barefoot. She does take care of us as we make the journey.
no, far be it from me from interrupting another's religious journey. We all have our own. My God does not ask these things of me, but I dig graves. So what can I talk? What can I say? And
Each of
Errol,
the deities asks of us
yeah, at this point,
many
Errol
different.
doesn't have much else to stand out at this point. He's not. He's looked at this 6 ways from Sunday. So unless he gets some other information on why he's got to bust this up, he's got to go. He's going to go make some stew.
All right.
And I think,
Leston, do you ask
yep.
any questions of the one that goes with you? You're muted.
Just gave him the
See,
raspberry.
I would ask him what brought him to this point in his life.
Well, I had been out with my brother. We were hunting, and he went to flush a deer out of some trees. And when I went to shoot the deer with my bow, I missed and took him through the throat. And so I have been I've I've had a great guilt weighing upon me since. It was but an accident. It was no malicious intent in it, but that weight, it can still weigh heavy on one. And until the Lady Davina came through town with her air of divine beauty, divine absolution, I thought there was no hope for me. And so I follow her to lay my woes at the feet, either literally or metaphorically, of the goddess to take some of the weight of the needless guilt off of me.
Well, there is always hope, my friend, that you will find the peace. Um, the symbol you wear, did she tell you what it meant, or just what she told us?
Just what she told you. Uh, Again, the deities do ask many odd things of us mere mortals, and it is not for me to question it.
And do
But it does
you
give me a measure of peace to wear it and know that the Lady Satara believes it will help.
do you know exactly what will happen to you when you get to the temple?
Lady Davina has talked of it, and when we get to the temple, I hear it's beautiful. Many trees, a waterfall, uh, small altars to her where you can give various offerings. And it is on the waterfall that she is said to most often appear.
Okay.
And so I wear the symbol as a sign of my devotion to seeking out her help. And if it does help, I may well pick up, maybe not as a druid, but as a devoted to wandering myself and finding those like myself who might need her absolution and take them to the temples.
I hope you find the truth that you seek. We should
Truth
probably
is
get
not what I seek. I know the truth. Peace is what I seek.
the peace of what you seek. Okay. Hope you find the peace that you seek.
Thank you.
We should probably get going back.
And between the four of you, you've collected enough wood and you get a nice little fire going and you're able to cook a stew. Errol.
Yeah, essentially going to take some of the rations that they have out, and a lot of the dried meat to kind of soak up the liquid and then turn it into something a little bit thicker, and then obviously cut up some potatoes and then throw some flour in to kind of thicken it up, and then spices, this, that, and the other thing, and try to make up something that's at least filling, um, to kind of scoop it to their bowls a little bit more than ours, and go from there. And then even kind of before the hour's up, I don't know exactly where Mariel is.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know if
probably come out
she
of
stayed with
the
her.
invisibility pretty close to like at least when like they're eating and things like that to figure out what's going on. Try and get
Okay, and then so I'll try to listen. I'm assuming with my perception, at least I'm like, so like I'm like, when it's kind of done, I'm just gonna kind of say to myself, it's gonna be up here in a little bit, so we're gonna just FYI. So
So, Amariel, first off, while you're still invisible, is there anything you do?
uh
crack that
I
druid in the
guess
face.
no, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna like prank the druid. But I am gonna kind of just I really want to observe of like Is she what she says she? That's I think what I'm concerned about more than anything. Um,
Give me an insight check.
insight. Oh God. I rolled a 17 on the die for an 18.
Well, she rolled very poorly on her persuasion. That she didn't know she was doing because it was a disadvantage. As you kind of observe her, those that didn't go to collect wood, she does stop to each of them, and they each have a wooden cup, and she pours some water from a wine or wine from a wineskin in, like enough that it's more an offering than to drink or get drunk. And then they each have a water skin that they drink water from. When the two come back from collecting wood, they too take a measure of the wine. She uses druidcraft to as paintbrush is playing music and giving that lively tune, she uses druidcraft to make some flower wreaths and place them upon the heads of the supplicants, and just that minute of joy to see that someone else is trying to lift their spirits. uh she recognizes it and works with that.
Okay.
Nothing
So
that you
she's not just
see.
like shuttling people to like it's not a as bad like it's still bad in Mario's mind, but it's not like all
Yeah,
right,
you
here go sell your soul. Uh
can you can
like I
definitely
thought it was
tell
gonna
that
be.
is specifically to put their woes at the altar of Satara, and even if it's not her that's absolving them, it's them tangibly giving up those woes, and you see it as a legitimate way that people might feel better. It wouldn't work for you per se, but
Yeah,
she sees.
I after it wears off, I'll probably go get food, sit down next to the party, kind of clunk. Uh,
She looks over and nods to you. Do you have anything on your person that is the symbol of Satara or anything like that? I don't remember.
I have it, but it's not it. I would say that my armor has symbolism of Katara, but I don't know it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like, just from my order, that was a big thing. Satara was a big thing from where I was from. So I'm assuming it would be interwoven into everything, and she has no clue. Sweet, but
She
no brain
does
bimbo
look
here.
she does look over at you uh as you come sit down, and she nods her head. Well met, fellow fellow oh god, what's the word I'm looking for? Words are hard. I hate it. uh are you a fellow worshipper of Satara?
Uh, that's a loaded question.
Well, the armor you wear, it has, and she holds out her arm and the tattoos, and she says, "These look very similar to your armor, and it is the mark of someone who, if not worships, then at least stands for in some way as her champion or as her voice. I do not think you are a
Uh,
druid or a cleric, but you do have it. I feel her touch on you."
yeah. Uh, no, I, yeah, I think Mariel just kind of stirs her food for a moment and just, yeah, you could say something of a working relationship. And it's kind of
Um,
spit out in a way that has a regret as well as like probably holding on to just some anger from it. It is not a, I would say, because she doesn't talk about this stuff in front of anybody, but the party is gonna sense a just a little bit of that sad anger energy from Amariel as she like talks back about things.
give me a wisdom saving throw quick.
Oh God. Oh, we're screwed. I'm screwed.
Roll
Oh
high.
no. I did not. That's a 4.
Unconsciously, you have pulled out the emotional lily
Oh,
and are
damn
holding
it.
it in front of you.
All right. All right.
She doesn't say anything about the flower. She does clock it, and you see a level of sadness that infuses her gaze at you. And she just looks at you and says, those of us touched by Satara, and not necessarily supplicants of hers, she she finds those of us who she needs as much as we need her, even if we don't feel that we need her. And I do hope that whatever path you are trotting in her name brings you a measure of peace. And she says it quietly enough that unless others are like eavesdropping, like she came over to sit next to you as this conversation was happening and kept it low enough that it wouldn't be overheard.
I think there's just a look of like panic. And I think she notices she has the lily in her hand and just drops it for a second. Uh, and scoops it back up and hides it away. Uh,
She
quick.
gives you kind of a sad little smile and she's like, those that are past always stay with us in some way. And she kind of pats your hand a little bit and then she gets up and walks to the other side of the fire and talks to some of the supplicants.
I think Lustin would probably walk over after seeing that and sit next to Mario. You okay?
Uh, I'm great. I just got my brain. Someone made me pull out something I don't want to look at, and and apparently my armor screams the person that I'm working for. So that's nice.
So
Errol's
you're
doing
not okay.
Errol's doing a lot of glaring, like eyes got narrowed real quick when our normal, you know, happy-go-lucky paladin got all quiet and misty-eyed, and he's putting down his bowl and is basically waiting for the word go, and then he's gonna smoke this lady.
Like back? No,
Yeah.
no, not yet. We're okay.
So he's just
Uh,
he's essentially just kind of, cleaning up, but is not, facing, not turning his back to everyone, and is just kind of staying back away enough that he's got a clear line of sight to this lady because he's got bad juju vibes all over this. But there's been nothing where he can literally say to anyone, "No, you're coming with me. You're not." I mean, everyone's doing this of their own free will, and so
Yeah.
he can't jump in anyone's way, even if he doesn't necessarily believe his God has done has him do some things. But obviously, in his mind, it's fine digging graves and taking care of the dead, but having been all dirty and walking this wrong long road for 3 weeks is not
Oh, it's only
his
been
is
2
not his
weeks. You're in
thing.
the second week.
Well,
Oh,
but for
3
these
weeks
people,
before
yeah,
that.
for them
That's
to
correct.
be walking the road all busted and stuff, like as a merchant and someone of Frisco's, this is just not his way. And so while he doesn't believe that this is the best route, he's not going to go sticking his nose in anything. So but he will smoke
As
this
you
lady.
all begin to clean up from the meal, it is lunchtime, uh, and the Lady Davina does give another bow to you all and says, "Satara, and whichever other deities you follow, for I see that there is many hands in this. I wish upon your party peace and goodwill, and an ending to those things that plague you." And she gathers up the supplicants and they begin to walk again. And on that note, we're going to end tonight's session. I do love that that entire encounter was a random table roll. But thank you everybody that came out to watch. Thank you to all of my wonderful players. Uh, let us go ahead and have everybody tell us where we can find them and what they have going on. And we will start with Izzy.
Hi, I'm Izzy. I'm on Instagram and Twitter, Izzy Talavera. And I played Paintbrush tonight, and I'm just here on Mondays. So I'll see you guys next Monday.
Well, he has been in a couple of things on here at least.
Yeah, I live here. I live here now.
Oops.
How I feel. Live here.
And Mary. Mary.
Sorry, my internet cut out for a second.
Oh,
Uh, no, you're good. Hi, I'm Mary Kate Mead. You can find me on socials at Nerd on Wheels 15, where I chat about disability, TTRPGs, and everything in between. Tomorrow, you can catch me on 2000 Tales for some Spelljammer, where I got kidnapped, so that's going to be fun. And not this Friday, but next Friday is the mid-season premiere of Weird Web over on 2000 Tales. It's going to be a blast. It's a Monster of the Week campaign that's basically supernatural, but with ovaries. So go ahead and check it out if you're interested. Everything's on podcast, uh, socials, everything. Great game.
and Skeg.
Hello, everybody. I'm Skagwater RPG. You can find me on all the socials under that. And yeah, I played Lust and Fire River tonight. I am pretty much a regular on this channel thing now. And yeah, you can find me next in a couple of weeks on Altered Echo Archives, where I will be playing a cyberpunk / Vampire the Masquerade game. I am excited for it.
I will have to
And
watch the VODs, but I'm so looking forward to that.
oh
Mhm.
yeah, it's I'm like, okay, I get to play something that I've never done before because I get to play a smart person. I'm not smart.
That's like me on my Saturday night game, so I feel ya.
Yeah.
Uh, you also have Dice Drop Evolution. Don't forget about that.
Oh yes, and I have Dice Drop Evolution every other Friday. We just released an episode on Friday on Spotify. So yeah, I do that too. I am a lot of places.
Steve.
My name's Steve. You can find me on Twitter at W9Steve. I am here every Monday, and then every other week I play in the Basin game that Mary GMs and does an absolutely amazing job with really fun cast of characters on Chaotic Wonderful. So please find us there, and then any of the other upcoming things that they do. Thank you.
And Danny is not here tonight because he does not feel well, but you can find him on the internet at Dr. Snugglebutts. And
Snugglebutts.
he keeps on hinting at secret things that are coming up, and I can't wait to find out what they are. And I have been your DM, Kristen, and you can find me all over the internet at Darcereelish. You can find me 5 nights a week, usually over here. And then on Saturday nights as well, I'm over on Exquisite Corpse Presents, where I play Candy, who has so many issues. Oh, so many.
Got Dad in the box.
Just a
And as
few
far as over
issues.
here, tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific time, catch Watercolor
Oh.
Wizardry with our watercolor wizard Maria, who busted out a family crest just cuz in the middle of stream
No
tonight.
kidding.
Was working on the characters for our Thursday night game currently. She did all of the character art that you see on screen now, and as she has done the character art for her game, which will be at 4:30 tomorrow, Misguided Magic.
So
And she
good.
also does some uh, little bits that happen in game and either sets them to TikTok sounds or will actually use the clips now that Kat is clipping those for her. And I love it. It's amazing. And she started drawing all of our characters' fancy outfits that we're wearing to a fancy party, and she's wonderful. You should check her out. And if you want any commissions, you can commission her. Then
Do
on
it.
Wednesday for Chaos Commentary, we have Katie Cunningham, who does lots of Pathfinder 2e stuff. She's going to come on and chat with us, and we're going to have a good old time with that. On Thursday, that's at 6 p.m., sorry. On Thursday at 5 p.m. is At the Threshold with our friend Chad, who runs the game. It's another 5e homebrew. It's different from the other two 5e homebrews as it can be. And then at 7 p.m. on Friday, we have Somnum Exteri, which is the cyberpunk homebrew that I'm running, where they are in a town called Somnum, or a city called Somnum Exteri on the ashes of Detroit. And that is all from us tonight. You can also check out, we have merch. It's all cool. Kat does amazing things with that. And Kat and I wrote a whole, oops, I can type, a whole TTRPG. You can get it on Drive-Thru RPG. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for hanging out with us. And we will see you all next time.
Hi, good